Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to the way of the Underhive, your ultimate guide to Games Workshop's gritty and immersive skirmish game Necromunda. Whether you're brand new to the dark depths of Hive Primus or a veteran looking to sharpen your skills, this series is your go-to resource for mastering all aspects of the game. From gang warfare to campaign strategies, we've got you covered. And on today's episode, we're taking a very special look at creating what I like to call the Dust Sea Road Crew, which is basically a brand new Outcast gang for your games of Necromunda for those who want to be outside of House Orlock on this one. The idea behind this, of course, is that I'm creating a gang based around the special character of Necromunda. I did a video about her earlier in one of my other series called Underhive's Most Wanted, which takes a look at all the Dramatis Personae characters that are available for gangs in Necromunda, and I actually wanted to talk about this character and actually using them as a gang leader for an Outcast Hive Scum game. And so that's the reason why we're making this whole video. The reason why is because she does have pretty decent psychology stats, and the best part about her character, she can use those psychology stats to give it to all the members of her gang on the tabletop, so long as she's at the leader. The nice thing about this gang, of course, is that it has a really good unique playstyle in terms of really good balance of shooting as well as close combat, and we're going to talk about exactly how you're going to do that on your games in Necromunda. Now, because this video is a little bit more of a deeper dive, I will put timestamps in the description box down below so that way you can click and navigate to the VAR video that interests you the most. So with that being said, let's talk about playing the Dust Sea Road Crew. Alright, so up first is our 1000 credit starting roster for your Orlock Outcast gang for the Dust Sea Road Crew. This will be perfect for using in games of Necromunda that's taking place inside the Underhive, as well as the Ash Waste, as well as the Underhells campaign. We also include the additional 400 credits that you also get at the end of this roster in case you want to take your adventures out on the road, where you get 400 credits for vehicles. So let's go and talk about exactly what this roster will consist of. So up first, leading your assault fire team is going to be your gang's leader, which of course is going to be Necromunda, the special character herself. She's going to be the Dust Sea Road boss. She's going to cost 200 credits to field this fighter, and she's going to be your outcast gang leader with the survivor archetype. That way you have access to both combat as well as ferocity skills for your character when you level up as well. Now, she automatically comes with flak armor as well as leg blades as well as harpoon fists for her weapons. She also has a respirator, and she has the bring it on skill, the clamber skill, the spring up skill, the sprint skill, and we're also going to give her the berserker skill for actually being an outcast gang leader. Now, those skills are actually quite good. For bring it on, basically she can take a basic action to make sure that she can make a challenge against a rival fighter, and they must pass a willpower test in order to target anybody else. So that way, if you really want to take on a target that you're afraid someone could try to escape you, she can use that skill in order to make sure that it doesn't happen. Her climber skill is great because now she can treat all vertical surfaces as just normal climbing, and with that movement of 5 characteristic, she can be able to move across the battlefield very quickly. She's also got sprint as well, which is quite nice. It means she can move up to 15 inches in a single activation, which is quite good. And plus she's got spring up, which is great because she is going to be shot at quite a bit because she is a combat monster, so your opponents will be shooting at her. So with that 2 up initiative, she'll be able to escape pinning no problem. Now, unfortunately, her armor is not that great with flak armor, so my recommendation is to get her better armor as soon as possible, so that way she's a little bit more survivable, because flak armor is not that great. She does have respirator, which is nice, so that way she can survive environmental effects as well as any gas attack weapons that come her way as well. With her leg blades as well as her harpoon fists, these are great close combat weapons, so she's really going to be up close and personal and taking the fight directly towards your enemies. The rest of your assault fire team will consist of 2 fighters. We have Junker Joe Brecca, who's going to be your outcast Hive Scum. This character is going to be armed with mesh armor for 5 armor save, as well as a sawn-off shotgun, which is a typical weapon, as well as a chainsaw for close combat, and they're also packing frag grenades as well. This person's whole job is to charge in close combat, take out people with that chain sword, also use their frag grenades to suppress your enemies as well. The second fighter in your assault fire team is going to be a character named Colder Rakes. This could be another outcast Hive Scum at 105 credits. This character's got mesh armor as well as a combat shotgun with salvo and shredder ammo, which are absolutely fantastic with template shots, as well as normal combat rounds, as well as a stub gun. Now, typically speaking, these outcast Hive Scum are not very good because their psychology stats are about 8+ for all 4 of them. But because Necromunda comes with the special rule Queen of the Road, she can transfer her cool characteristic as well as any one of her cool characteristics to any one of her fighters on the tabletop at a 6+, which makes these guys last a lot longer on the battlefield. And that's the reason why we're using this character in order to take care of the horrible psychology stats for all the outcasts that are in your gang. So you will have two support fire teams in this 1000 credit roster. The first one is Smelt the Gunner, which is one of your Outcast champions at 205 credits. This fighter's got the Gunslinger archetype as well as mesh armor for a fire armor save. They also have a plasma gun with a telescopic sight, so that way you get short range bonuses to long range shooting, which is fantastic. As well as a stub gun as a backup weapon, as well as a fast shot skill, so that way you can fire that plasma gun twice as a single activation. Or you can actually take a basic action aim if you need to, if the shot's extremely critical, and still be able to use that short range modifier because of the telescopic sight. The second fighter in your support fire team is going to be Orlock, which is another Outcast Hive scum at 105 credits. This character's got a 5-up armor save as well as a bolt gun, which is absolutely fantastic, as well as a stub gun for a backup weapon. Your second support fire team will have a character named Lave the Wrecker, who is another Outcast champion at 145 credits. This character's got the Mastermind archetype and also packing mesh armor as well. They also have a grenade launcher with frag and crack grenades, as well as a stub gun with a backup weapon. And they're going to have the Overwatch skill, so that way they can interrupt enemy activations by firing that grenade launcher, which is all kinds of fun as well. And then lastly, you could have another fighter named Handsome Jack Thumper. He's going to be an Outcast Hive scum at 70 credits. He's got mesh armor as well as an auto gun as well as an auto pistol, and his job is to engage targets within medium range as well as close range with the auto gun as well as the auto pistol. And lastly, we're going to spend 50 credits in order to get the Grease Monkey. The Grease Monkey is going to be a rogue doc, it's going to cost you 50 credits. This character's got last pistol Medicaid kit as well as Medicaid skill, as well as the patch of special rule for being a rogue doc. That way, if any of your fighters can suffer a critical injury, they can take a free medical escort mission and visit the Grease Monkey in order to save your guys' fighters as well. Now, for those of you guys who are heading out to the Ashways because you're doing an Ashways campaign or you're doing an Underhells campaign with a Mouse Train Allegiance, you actually get 400 credits in order to create your vehicles. So we have two vehicles that you have in this gang. First of all, we have Core the Harpooner, who's going to be a Orlock Iron Rider with capacity 225 credits. They're mounted on an Outrider quad with a harpoon launcher. And then we have the Rust Wagon, which is going to be piloted by another Orlock Iron Rider at 180 credits. It's a custom vehicle with a transport bed, so that way the rest of your fighters can also mount that vehicle and also participate and drive around the battlefield. Now, in case you're going to do the Underhells campaign, but you don't want to be a Mouse Train Allegiance, you want to be an Archaeo Tech Hunter, you do get access to the Abyssal Ferryman team. This is going to be from the Hunter Enclave, and we're taking the Dramatis Personae group of Hagthor Jarland as well as Aster Fellstrand. Now, you're going to get the Cunning Killer's ability, which is going to help you out fight against any of the roaming horrors that are existing down in the Underhells setting. And you're going to have your Ferryman Skipper be Hagthor Jarland. He's going to be equipped with light Parapus armor as well as his Abyssal Pattern Shotgun as well as a Power Wrench. He's got a Respirator as well as the Fixer skill, so you'll be getting D3 times 10 credits every single time you do a battle. He's also got the True Grit skill to make it a little bit more survivable in combat as well. Aster Fellstrand is going to be your Dramatis Personae Ferryman Rig Hand. It's going to be equipped with light Carapace armor as well as a stub gun and axe. Kind of basic weapons, I know, but they're also quite survivable with Respirator as well as Bolt Charge as well as a Hurl skill. And then lastly, you have Karen the Oarsman. Is going to be your Ferryman Steersman. This guy's going to be armed with a stub gun as well as a custom rig. They'll be driving with a tracked locomotion so that way you can deal with all dangerous terrain. A mining laser, so that way you have a good high strength shooting attack, as well as a small transport cage to protect your fighters, as well as an easy turnover engine. And this is the roster you guys will have if you decide to go to the Underhells campaign with the Archaeo Tech Hunters. The next roster, of course, is going to be your 2,400 credit roster in case you want to play in the Aranthian Secession. Once again, still maintaining that Orlock Outcast gang heritage, and you're once again taking the Dust Sea Road Crew. It's pretty much the same list we had before, except now that we're adding to it up to 2,400 credits, so that way you can participate in the Aranthian Secession. Once again, Margaret Medina, the Dust Sea Road Boss, will still be your leader of your gang. She's going to cost you 260 credits this time. She's going to be a Survivor archetype with armored undersuit and flak armor, so that way she's got a 5-up armor save. She still has her leg blades as well as her harpoon fist, but we're giving her photo goggles in combination with a photo respirator, so that way she can survive in all visibility conditions as well as environmental effects. She still has a Bring It On as well as Clamber, Spring Up, Sprint, as well as upgrading her skill to Commanding Presence this time. So that way you can activate more fighters, just because your roster could be larger because you have more credits now to make a bigger list. Your Assault Fire team has a new fighter now named Junker Joe Brecco. That character is still equipped with his Outcast Hive scum with 155 credits. He's got his mesh armor with his sawn-off shotgun as well as chainsaw, but now we're upgrading his frag grenades to blasting charges and giving him photo goggles so that he can see his targets when he's lobbing those high explosives towards your enemy. Colder Rakes makes a return at 160 credits this time. Still equipped with mesh armor as well as combat shotgun with salvage shredder ammo and a stub gun, but we're giving this guy a flail for close combat as well as photo goggles so that we can open fire with that weapon. And Handsome Jack Thumper is going to be moved now to your guys' assault fire team. Once again, still equipped with his mesh armor as well as auto gun and stub gun, but he's got frag grenades this time as well as photo goggles so that we can see in all visibility conditions. This time we have a second assault fire team, led by Syl Torture, who's another one of your Outcast champions. He's brand new to your list. It costs 255 credits. This guy's got the gunslinger archetype as well as armor with mesh armor. They got a flamer as well as a stub gun, as well as photo goggles, and they have hip shooting so that way you can do double movement and open fire with that flamer and set opponents on fire. He's also backed with a new hire to your game named Blaster Frio, who's all another Outcast Hive skin with 185 credits. This guy's got mesh armor as well as a hand flamer so that way you can set people on fire with that weapon. Stub gun and a chainsaw for close combat attacks, as well as photo goggles so that way you can see what they're doing in all visibility conditions. Support Fire Team number 1 sees the return of Smelt the Gunner, your Outcast champion, but this time rated at 285 credits. They're still a gunslinger archetype with mesh armor, also armed with a plasma gun with a telescopic sight, but they also got a plasma pistol for a backup weapon, as well as photo goggles, as well as the fast shot skills, so that way you can still cause problems for your enemy. Oro Steer also makes another return, but this time at 205 credits. He still has mesh armor. This time he's packing a bolt gun with a telescopic sight, so he gets short range modifier to his shooting attacks, a bolt pistol for a backup weapon, as well as for close combat, as well as photo goggles to see in all visibility conditions. And Support Fire Team number 2 also makes a return with Lev the Wrecker, this time at upgrade to 180 credits. He's got a Mastermind archetype, still packing his mesh armor with grenade launcher with fire and crack grenades. Still has a stub gun, but this time he's got a photo goggles so that we can see in all visibility conditions, and still has the Overwatch skill. And then Flash Crank also has a new fighter now, who's now included this fire team. He's another Outcast Hive skin with 130 credits. He's got a mesh armor as well as a last gun with a telescopic sight, a last pistol for a backup weapon, as well as photo goggles. My suggestion to you is to upgrade that last gun with a hot shot last pack as soon as possible. And to make sure that your fighters are still in the fight, the Grease Monkey still makes a return. This is another one of your rogue dogs at 150 credits. This guy's still packing his last pistol, Medicaid kit, Medicaid skill as well as patch up, and his job remains the same of taking care of your fighters in case they suffer a critical injury. And once again, the very same vehicles from the first 400 credit roster still is in effect. We still have Core the Harpooner. That guy still costs 225 credits. Still an Outrider with Outrider Quad with a harpoon launcher. And the Rust Wagon also makes a return as well with an Orlock Iron Rider at 108 credits. Still driving a custom vehicle with a transport bed. Now let's talk about alliances real quick. So as an Outcast gang from the Orlock list, you still can take alliances from your guys' Orlock list. It can only be those alliances you can take only. The first one, if you decide to be law-abiding, is your Merchant Guild alliance with the Guild of Coins. Still a really good group to use. They still have the Toll Collector delegation they can send to you. The leader of this will be the guy called the Toe Cutter. He's going to be a Master of Coin with a last pistol, power knife, displacer field, a gun skull with the Escape Artist as well as the Overseer skills. So still pretty deadly at close combat. That displacer field have that 4 ward save, which is quite nice as well. Escape Artist means that if you get stuck in close combat, you can't escape, but what you're really going to probably do is spam the Overseer ability so that way you can have your fighters do double sets of activations. Torg is going to be the name of your skin flint. Is armed with mesh armor as well as a plasma pistol as well as a fighting knife and a cult icon. They have the lie low skill, which is largely not all that great. It doesn't really do anything for you. But that cult icon does give them larger group activations, which is quite nice. And that plasma pistol is still quite powerful. Because the reason why you want to have that cult icon is so that way you can activate your grovelers. Bubba Zanetti is going to be one of them. It's going to be groveler number 1. He's equipped with a long rifle as well as a fighting knife and lie low. The fighting knife and lie low are pretty much superfluous, but that long rifle though is going to be great to reaching out and hitting your targets up to 40 inches away. Your second grapple will be Kundalini's also armed with the long rifle, fighting knife, as well as the lie low skill, and you still have access to the highways and byways special rule, as well as tollways. That way you can also manipulate how you're going to go about doing different scenarios, and you could possibly potentially be able to ambush your opponents, which is quite nice. Now you do have guard duty as a drawback, as well as collecting tolls, which means you got to pay D3 times 10 credits every single time you actually end a scenario with these guys. So that is something you have to deal with. Now, for those of you guys who are going to become a criminal alliance, I suggest stick with the Fallen Houses. I would suggest you take the Rebel Lord Lady Credo, the special character as well. The reason why is because her stats are crazy, as well as her abilities as well. She's got an Armor Eve Cloak, which is going to be light carapace armor with Mastercrafted Power Saber and Mastercrafted Last Pistol. She has the Dodge, Iron Will, Parry skills as well as the Air to the Outland special rule, which allows her to transfer cool as well as her willpower stats to Outcast gangs, which is quite nice. She also has Sinistrous as well as Dexterous, which gives her additional 360-degree view or to protect herself as well. Now, you do have Rebellion and For the Cause as well as Ancient Oaths, which are going to be your benefits as well as your drawbacks. So you do have to pay some credits in terms of D6 times 10 credits for the cause. But at the same time, though, you could also raise a lot of money for yourself if you fight law-abiding gangs or anybody allied with a noble house, or if you're fighting Paladin Enforcers. And last, your third alliance option is the Noble House Alliance with House Ranlo. We have your Auditing Conclave led by Sheik Shabazz. This is going to be your Ranlo auditors, got mesh armor as well as a web pistol, fighting knife, and fearsome. That fearsome skill is quite nice, but the web pistol is even better, so that's a kind of a nice little close combat oriented alliance with that character. And then, of course, we have Red Horrors. This is going to be your Guilt Scrivener. This guy's got a Mastercrafted long rifle with a bolt pistol and power sword for backup weapons. They have the Trick Shot skill so that we can remove partial cover, as well as the Bodyguard skill in order to protect Sheik Shabazz, your Ranlo Auditor, as well. You also got the benefits of always more coin, as well as checks and balances, plus every crit counted, as well as the price of doing business. So this is actually a really fun list to actually put together for yourself, and the reason why is because of most Outcast gangs, they really struggle with their psychology stats, but with Margot Mordina, that's going to be really taken care of with that 6+ cool, which is going to be nice as well. At the same time, playing an Outcast game is great for all kinds of proxying, 3D printing, converting, and kit bashing to make your own fighters in order to use on this gang, which would be kind of fun as well. And if you already have an Orlock gang already, you're halfway there. All you gotta do is find some miniature to use your leader, and you pretty much can use this roster in order to be amazing in your campaign as well. If you guys have any suggestions for some other games you guys like to see, please put it down in the comments box down below. If I like your idea, I'll go ahead and make it into a video and give you credit for the idea as well. So there you guys have it. This is how you guys can play the Dust Sea Road Crew for your games of Necromunda. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is valuable to us as always. Also, check us out in the next video, and for now, I will see you guys later, and keep on staying classy.